Most of what's getting built with AI right now is garbage. I want to start there because nobody else will say it to your face. There's a tidal wave of slop pouring out of these tools right now. Apps that look incredible in a 30-second demo and fall apart the second a real human touches them. Tools that work once on the maker's machine under perfect conditions and then die the first time the real world shows up. It is everywhere. And most of the people shipping it have quietly started to suspect the truth, which is that they are building junk. And here's the uncomfortable part. It is not because they are stupid. It is because they grabbed the wrong model, or because they grabbed the wrong tool, or missed some secret prompt floating around on the internet. Two people can sit down with the exact same AI, the exact same tools, the exact same free afternoon, and one of them produce slop that embarrasses them within a week, and the other builds something real companies will pay to use. Same tools, wildly different outcomes. So the tool was never the thing that decided it in the first place. This video is about what actually decides it. The line between slop and real. Because that line is the single most important thing in this entire space right now. And almost nobody is teaching it honestly. Because honest does not sell as well as magic. I'm going to show you which side of it most people are stuck on, exactly why they're stuck there, and what it actually takes to cross over. No hype, just the difference between a demo that wows and software that holds. Real quick, because it matters who's talking to you, I'm Alex Brockway. And a year ago, I could not write a single line of code. Now, I build production software with AI, the kind real companies actually run their operations on. And I'm not here to sell you magic. I am here because I have built the real thing. And I have also produced plenty of slop along the way. And I can tell you precisely from all my experience what the difference was every time. That is the whole channel. It is exactly why we called it AI code that works, not AI code that demos, not AI code that looks impressive on a Tuesday, AI code that works. Let me show you what slop actually looks like up close, because you have probably already lived it, or you're about to. It always starts as a hi. You open a chat, you describe the thing you want, and the AI hands you back something that looks unbelievable. It feels like somebody just handed you a superpower. You paste it in, it runs, and for about an hour, you genuinely feel like a genius. Then the cracks start. You add a second feature, and the first one quietly breaks. You fix that, and something on the other side of the project stops working for no reason you can see. You ask the AI to fix it, and it confidently makes the whole thing worse because it lost track of what it built even 3 steps ago. The files multiply, the logic turns into a plate of spaghetti that nobody alive could follow. And then comes the worst moment of all, the one absolutely nobody posts about. You look at your own project and you realize you have no idea what is actually happening inside of it anymore. You generated a pile of crap. And now you are just poking at the pile and praying. And it gets worse from there because slop has a timeline. Week 1, it is exciting. Week 2, you're spending more time fixing it than building it. And by about week 3, the whole thing is so tangled that touching one corner breaks 3 others. And you become genuinely afraid to change anything. You cannot add features. You cannot hand it to another person because you're the only one who even sort of understands the mess. And honestly, you barely do too. So you do what almost everyone does at that exact point. You quietly abandon it. And you tell yourself you are just not technical enough for this stuff. You just never had a system. There's a difference. And it is the whole difference. So that is slop. And the cruelest part is that it looked exactly like success for the first hour, the first day, the first week. That is what makes it so dangerous. Slop and real look completely identical at the start. They only ever diverge later, when reality finally shows up and leans its full weight on the thing. So why does it happen? Why do smart, capable, motivated people generating these beautiful little piles of garbage over and over? The first reason is that they jumped straight to prompting. They started firing off requests before they did a second of thinking or structuring or setup. No plan, no rules, no system. Just a person, a chat box, and a vibe. And here's the thing you have to understand. The AI did not fail them. The AI did exactly what it always does. It gave a confident answer to whatever it was handed, with zero idea whether that answer fit into anything bigger. The intelligence was never the problem. The missing piece was the system around the intelligence. There was no structure for all that horsepower to push against, so it just spun and made a mess faster than any human ever could on their own. And there's a second reason, sitting right next to the first one. They trusted it. The output looked good. It came back fast and confident. So they assumed it was good and they shipped it. That is the magic box mindset, and it is poison. The moment you treat the AI like an all-knowing oracle, instead of a power tool, you stop checking its work, and it will walk you straight off a cliff confidently with a smile on its face. Slop is what happens when nobody in the room is actually responsible for whether the thing is true and whether the thing works. The machine is not responsible. It cannot be. Now, here's why this matters more than almost anything else happening right now, and why I am making a whole video about it instead of just telling you to be careful out there. The wall came down. For 30 years, building real software required a team you could not afford, a budget you did not have, and a technical background you were never handed. That wall is gone. One person who actually knows what they're doing can now build the kind of software that used to take a room full of engineers an entire year. That is real. And it is genuinely the most exciting thing that has happened to people who want to build things in a generation. But here's the part nobody connects for you. The wall did not vanish. It moved. It used to be built out of money. Now it's built out of this exact thing right here, the slop line. The only thing standing between you and building something real is no longer a budget you do not have. It is whether you can stay on the right side of the slop versus real. The gate used to be money. The gate is now execution. And honestly, that is the best news in this entire video, because money was never something you could fix by trying harder. This is entirely yours to learn. So let me tell you what it actually takes to live on the real side of that line. Not the whole method. That is what the free course is for, but enough that you walk out of here knowing this is a real, learnable, repeatable thing and not just luck. It all comes down to giving the work a system instead of just talking at the machine and hoping for the best. And a real system has a few non-negotiable parts. First, context. Before the AI builds a single thing, it has to know what it is building and why the rules it absolutely must follow. The slot maker skips this entirely and starts barking orders into a chat box. The real builder writes it down first. You would never hand a contractor a hammer and walk away without giving them a blueprint and then act shocked when they frame the wrong house in the wrong spot. Context is the blueprint. No blueprint, no real building ever. It is that simple, and it is the most skipped step there is. Second, structure. You break the work into clear, rigid steps with clean edges between them instead of asking the machine to leap from nothing to everything in one heroic prompt. And here's the fact that quietly reframes the entire tool for people. Something like Claude code is underneath all of it, a folder structure. It reads files in folders in an order you control. Once you actually internalize that, you stop trying to talk into being smart and you start arranging its whole environment so it has no choice but to be smart. The slot maker is in begging the AI to behave. The real builder configure it so that behaving is the only thing that it really knows how to do. Third, and this is the one almost everyone skips, verification. Done does not mean done. Done means verified. When the AI hands you something, that is not the finish line. That is the starting line. The slot maker trusts the output because it looks good and it came fast. The real builder checks that it actually works, that it holds up, that it does the real job before any of it counts as done. Looking good and being good are two completely different things, and the entire slop epidemic lives in the gap between them. And there is a fourth piece that ties the other three together, and it is the most human one of all. It's taste, judgment, knowing what good actually looks like in the first place. The AI can produce 1,000 options in a minute, but it cannot tell you which one is right for your customer, your business, your situation. That call is yours. And it is the part that gets more valuable the more powerful these tools get, not less. The slot maker accepts whatever the machine hands back because deep down, they're not even sure what good looks like. The real builder has an option, an opinion, a standard, a bar, and they hold every single output up against it. Say you want a tool that takes your messy weekly numbers and turns them into a clean report. The slop way is you type, build me a reporting tool. You take whatever it spits out and you ship it. It works on the one example you tried, and it quietly breaks on the second. The real way is you tell it what the numbers are, where they come from, and what a good report actually looks like. You break it into steps, pull the data, check it, format it, flag the weird ones. You verify each step does exactly what it should do before moving on. And you, the human, decide whether the final thing is actually clear and correct, because you are the one who knows what your boss is going to ask. Same tool, same hour, one, garbage. One, you would actually put your name. Now let me show you what real looks like at a full scale. So this is not just a word I keep saying. Go look at Scale B.O.S.S. It is a live business operating system, software that real companies run their actual operations on every single day, right now, today. Real users, real working people, moving through the product. Real stakes. It does not fall apart when a second person logs in. It does not break the moment reality shows up, because reality already showed up hard and the thing held. That is what real looks like. That is the far side of the slop line. And it was built with these exact methods. And now I'm building the next one in public, RevAStack. And its first piece, a tool called Brand Engine. Brand Engine is the thing that builds this channel, the scripts, the graphics, the voice, the entire content machine behind everything we do. I'm building the tool that builds my content out in the open, and I'm going to rip it apart and show you exactly how it holds together as we go. Because watching something real actually get built is worth more than 1,000 shiny demos that quietly died a week after they were posted. So here's the honest truth. The part the hype sellers will never tell you, because it does not fit on a sales page next to a picture of a beach. The real side is harder than the slop side. It asks more of you. It asks you to think before you type, to structure before you build, to verify instead of trust, and to stay in the driver's seat at the exact moment when it would feel so much easier to just let go and let the magic happen. The dream sellers promise you that you can skip every bit of that. They're lying to you. There is no version of this where you skip the work and walk away with something real. There never have been, and there never will be. But here is everything. The part that should actually fire you up. It is learnable. Every single piece of it. The thinking, the structuring, the verifying, the judgment, none of it requires a degree or somebody's permission or a technical background you were never given. It requires that you decide to do the actual work instead of chasing the magic trick. That is the entire difference between the person who ships something real and the person who just generates garbage a little faster than everybody around them. So if you are tired of building impressive looking things that fall apart and you want to build the kind of thing that actually holds, here is exactly where to start. And it costs you nothing. The build kit hands you the structure, the system, the exact setup I use to stay on the real side of this line. The free course walks you through the whole method, step by step, in order. Both are linked right below this video. Grab the kit first, because the tools are not going to save you. The system is what saves you. Thinking is what saves you. And those have always been yours to build. There is a flood of garbage being shipped right now, and there is a small, quiet group of people building real things that actually last. The tools did not decide who ended up in which group. The system did. You already know which group you want to be in. So go get the system and go build something real. Subscribe so you do not miss out. I will see you in the next course.